What on earth has been digging up this pumpkin plant? Something has been digging away the compost around this Dulles Atlantic giant pumpkin. Over the last few weeks, I have had an uncontrollable itch. And no, I've not caught chickenpox or shingles or anything like that. I have had an uncontrollable itch to get my tender crops planted outside. So I couldn't resist temptation anymore, and I've got most of them now planted outside. Now it is the beginning of June, and our last frost date was somewhere around the middle of May till the end of May, so we're okay now, and it has warmed up a lot. Actually, it's been sunny like this, like it is today now, for the last few weeks. In fact, it's not rained in about 5 weeks, which is quite concerning. You know, I'm glad that it's warmed up and we're having sunny days where it's getting up to 24, 25 degrees some days, but it is very, very dry, and we've not had much rain. And there's not any rain forecast actually for the next week or two at least. So it has been very hard to water, and it has been very dry. The nighttime temperatures haven't been that great either. I know I have planted my tender crops out, but the other night it got down to 6 degrees. I came in the greenhouse and it said on the thermometer that it got down to 8 degrees in there. So yeah, quite cool nights because of the clear skies. But I have got most of my tender things outside now, and they are doing okay. So I have started the big plant out. So today it's just a little bit of an update showing you what I've planted out and what I'm doing, really. Just a little bit of a vlog update. So I do hope that you enjoy. But before we get into the video, just remember to hit that like button if you like the video, because it really does help out a lot. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you can see when I upload new content just like this. What have you got planted out this month? Have you got all your tender things planted outside now? Or are you a little bit cautious and have you got most of them still in the greenhouse or on your windowsill at home? Let me know in the comments below. I've got most of my things planted out now, and I'm going to show you what I've planted out. So I hope you enjoy the video. So sweet corn coming along quite nicely. Not really moved though since I planted it out. I planted it out about 2 weeks ago, I think it was now. Not really moved anywhere, to be honest. But yeah, they're still here and they are doing okay. They've not died yet, which is a good thing. Now, in the big polytunnel, not really planted outside, you know, they are in the polytunnel, but they are things that are planted into their final positions now. And yeah, our tomato beds are now filled up. They're all strung up. These are all our heritage tomatoes. There's about 30 different varieties in here. I've not counted them, there's roughly about that. Yeah, there's a lot of tomatoes in here. So these are all doing nicely now. There's actually flowers on a lot of them. Some of them flowers are actually starting to set. So that is good. Well, there's a robin in here. Every single day I come into this polytunnel, there's a robin in here. I don't know if there's a nest somewhere in here or around the polytunnel, I don't know. But every day for the last 2 weeks, there's been a robin in here. I don't know if it's the strawberries that are attracting them. Well, red ant. Yep, red ants. Or even inside the hanging baskets. Yeah, I don't know if it's the strawberries, but red ants are actually on the strawberries. Yeah, absolutely just rife on my allotment, the red ants. Really big problem. I've actually started applying diatomaceous earth. Anyway, before I go off on a tangent, the tomatoes in the polytunnel coming along nicely. And I recently, last week, brought down these mini munch cucumbers. They were at home. I was scared to bring them down, but they're here now, and they're a nice size. They're about 1.5 feet tall now. I've actually picked off the first few cucumbers that were on there because I want the plant to get to a nice size first before it starts setting loads of fruit. There are a few on here. on the top half of the plant. But last year, these mini munch cucumber varieties were so prolific, and we had handfuls of cucumbers. We were picking a big handful off each plant, you know, every couple of days. They were really, really good. We had cucumbers for like 2 months. Similar story in the big greenhouse as well. Our tomatoes are in here, our F1 hybrids. Also setting fruit now, only just. There is one Black Beauty tomato here. The rest of them are hybrids. Yeah, coming along nice. There's a couple of bunches on each one. And our aubergine plants, which I'm really proud of this year. I never get them to this size. I think this is the biggest I've ever managed to get them early June. Usually it's like August when I get them to this size. But I had them at home up until last week, just like the cucumbers. And I've actually picked off the first flowers on here because I want them to become established in these containers first. But yeah, this variety is called Moneymaker, I think. Moneymaker aubergine. So we'll see. Maybe this year will be the year that we get some aubergines. They are quite a tricky one. I've not really had much success with them in the past, so fingers crossed. Okay, I'm going to try and show you as much as I can without making it a plot tour, because I'm going to save that for in a couple of weeks' time when I do the June tour. I actually didn't do a May tour, you may have noticed, because I just haven't had time to do it. I haven't had time to do the May tour, but it just means there'll be more to talk about, I suppose. So, you know, there is that. Our runner beans are all planted outside now, Scarlet Emperors. Some of them are actually halfway up the supports now already. So we should be seeing some beans pretty soon, you know, once they start filling out. So Scarlet Emperor beans are out. We've got our Bluhild purple podded beans here. We're trying a few of them again this year. They were really nice last year. Really nice beans. Just for the beans. You can eat the pods as well, I've found, but I found they're nicer for the beans. And then we've got some Blue Lake French climbing beans here as well on this side. And they're now starting to grab onto the poles as well. So, happy days. Exciting times. Beans are one of my favourite crops, so yeah, they seem to have taken really nicely. These were planted out about 2 weeks ago now, so yeah, they've started to take. What on earth has been digging up this pumpkin plant? Something has been digging away the compost around this Dulles Atlantic giant pumpkin. I have to keep covering the soil back over. Look, the roots are actually exposed. Actually nearly out. Yeah, look, it's actually been dug out of the horse manure compost, which is a real pain in the butt actually. I have to keep mounding it around, and if whatever it is damages these roots, you know, pulls these roots back, you know, we're gonna be in trouble, because this is our single seed challenge pumpkin, our giant Dulles Atlantic giant pumpkin. So if we lose that to rats, mice, squirrels, foxes, I don't know. What do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. My guess, it's probably rats, to be honest. We have very, very big rats around here. In fact, a couple of weeks ago I was on here and I saw a rat run across the allotment, and it must have been about, honestly, I thought it was a bunny rabbit. It was ridiculous. I thought it was a bunny rabbit, but it was actually a rat. So yeah, we have some big rats, and yeah, that's probably what's to blame for this. More holes there, and there's actually holes all over the allotment. They've done it on these squashes here as well. They've actually dug in the side of here, and they're all over the paths. Now I've noticed these holes that they've been digging everywhere. More holes here and everywhere, all over my paths. So yes, this bed, which consists of compost and horse manure, has our squashes in here. I found that squashes really like manure, so I've planted them directly in that. And I've actually companion planted borage as well next to it. I really like borage, a nice edible flower. It produces an abundance of blue flowers, which bees really like. So, those Atlantic giant pumpkin, squashes, and our ornamental gourds in this pot of horse manure. I'm just growing them purely in horse manure, and they're in there. They'll produce some nice displays for the autumn for Halloween. So, one of our asparagus beds, the asparagus didn't really grow. Yeah, it's quite pathetic actually, to be honest. Only a couple of them actually grew. Compare that with the bed next to it, with our asparagus crowns, which we got from Marshall's, and they've been brilliant. Look at that. Really, really well. So, yeah, the bed, which the asparagus didn't work, I've actually just planted a couple of courgettes in, to be honest, uh, along as well as some carrots as well, just so the space isn't wasted. We do have a few more courgette plants which we need to plant out, and they'll probably be going next to the runner beans, actually. Yeah, we've got a couple of courgettes there, and to be honest, courgettes give you an absolute bombardment for many, many months, so long as you pick them. In fact, there's actually a few starting to appear already, but the plants are only small. So these two should be enough, to be honest. They should give us enough courgettes anyway. So our pure horse manure raised bed here has a tromboncino squash in and a butternut squash in, which are going to be growing up this support here. There is actually one tomato. Look, more burrowing. I don't know what is burrowing. It's absolutely everywhere, all over the plot. There we go. But yeah, we've got a honeymoon tomato here, which I just threw in, to be honest. And nasturtiums, their companion plant. To be honest, they self-seeded themselves. I like to leave a few of them just seeding themselves around the plot because they attract black fly and aphids and things like that. A good trap crop to keep them off your other plants. So yeah, nasturtiums are a really good companion plant. Sweet peas are just starting to flower, which is quite early for me actually. I think this is earlier than last year, so I'm quite surprised at that. So yeah, these smell lovely already. So yep, I think it's going to be a good year for sweet peas. I'm really excited for those. Just look at these alliums. These are my absolute favourite spring flowering bulb. And unfortunately, they'll probably be finished in the next couple of weeks. But we're going to dry them out and spray paint them and use them as ornaments at home. I saw a few people do that last year, so I think we'll do that this year. They're like, look at them, they're like fireworks. I've actually planted a load more all along here, probably another 20 or so bulbs. They do spread anyway, but my idea is to have this whole bed filled with alliums, and then when they die back, I'll have the summer flowers come through. And the summer flowers this year are cornflowers. I've planted a load of them in between these alliums. There's like 30 cornflowers. So they will come through when the alliums die back. So in the new polytunnel, everything is now planted out in here as well. We have our peppers on this side, which weren't doing anything for a very long time, but I think just about now, they've actually started to move now. They've started to take off a little bit. So yes, finally we have some movement on the peppers, which they went in here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. No, about a month ago they went in here. And we have a few gherkin cucumbers over here now taking off nicely actually. We have our more tomatoes. Yep, we have more tomatoes. If we didn't already have enough. But these are San Mazzanos. I need to string these up, actually. These need stringing up before they topple over. So yeah, San Mazzano tomatoes. I wanted to grow some tomatoes that are more suitable for sauce, because we're growing a lot of heritage tomatoes and, you know, just standard tomatoes. So we really like using them in cooking as well. So yeah, plum San Marzano tomatoes for sauces. Okay, so again, not really related to the plant in our video, but I just thought I'd show you all the bucket grown potatoes, which are now flowering. All our main crops are now flowering, so we'll be harvesting these very soon, which is very exciting. I think there's about 33 buckets. They're even over there. I've run out of space. Kind of ridiculous, actually. They're everywhere. There's actually broad beans over there. You see the flowers on them, and yeah, I've been a little bit lazy with this, to be honest. I should have really thought about where I'm going to put all these. They're basically just completely taken over everything. So yeah, there's going to be a big potato reveal video coming up in the next few weeks, you know, in the next month or so, revealing these potatoes. And there's some really nice varieties here, so I'm really excited to see how they did this year. Okay, so I've just made a discovery, you know, following on from the discussion with the robin. So I've actually looked in the side of this hanging basket of strawberries. Now there's these things at the side, and there's actually a robin's nest in there. So I've been coming in here the last couple of weeks, and there's been a robin in here, and that is the reason why. There's actually, if we look in there, you can't see it, but there's actually feathers in there, like they've made a nest. So I don't know if there's any eggs in there, or baby robins, or anything. I've not looked, but I think I'll just leave it there, to be honest. I'm not going to disturb them. A little bit of an unusual place to build a nest, but you know, yeah. The strawberry hanging basket. So I've left bird houses and stuff at the allotment before, and I've never been able to attract birds. But apparently, if you leave a hanging basket with holes in the side of it in your polytunnel, that works for birds. So yeah, if you're struggling to get birds on your plot, you know, to nest in bird houses, yeah, get a hanging basket like this. The robins love it. So yeah. And I've even discovered a wasp nest in my shed. So yeah, there's some things really like making nests on my allotment at the moment. Birds, ants, wasps. Made a nest inside this storage container. I was in here before, just having a little sort out, and saw a couple of little wasps knocking around. I thought, well, that's a bit strange. You know, when there's 2 or 3 wasps knocking about, probably going to be a nest somewhere. I don't know how they got in, probably through the top of here. There's a little gap in the top of the roof, so they've probably got through there, and there's a gap in the side of the container as well, and they've actually made a nest on the lid, on the inside, a little. Yep, you can see there's a nest there, but I don't want to touch it. I don't want to open it wide and get myself stung. It's only a small nest, but I will have to sort that out before it gets bigger. Serious question though, guys. Do I try and kill the wasp nest off, or do I just simply move the storage container outside to an empty part of my plot in the corner, out of the way, and just let them be? Because at the end of the day, they are probably going to be beneficial to the allotment, and they will aid with pollination and stuff, you know. They are a living thing at the end of the day. So do I leave them be and just move the container out of the shed, out of the way, or do I try and dispose of the nest and kill it off? Let me know in the comments below what you think I should do. And yeah, I think for now I'm just going to just leave it for now until I make a decision, really. Loads of things planted out now, lots going on. I hope you enjoyed my little update for today. So if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Happy gardening and stay safe.